My name is Kevin Watson, and I'm here with Trey Tyndall and Eric Woodland to bring you a video about composting. As you can see from this outline, Eric will talk about the different composting types and some basic information regarding composting. Trey will bring us the pros and cons. I will talk about the costs and closing statements, and we will have special mentions at the end of the video followed by credits. So without further ado, I'll pass it on to Eric to talk about the types and the general information regarding composting.
Compost is organic matter that has been decomposed and recycled as a fertilizer and soil amendment. Compost is a key ingredient for organic farming. Organisms in the process of composting require four equally important ingredients to work effectively: carbon for energy, nitrogen to grow and reproduce more organisms to oxidize the carbon, oxygen for oxidizing the carbon, and water in just the right amounts to maintain activity without causing anaerobic conditions. The most efficient composting occurs with a carbon-nitrogen mix of about 30-1. The process of composting can be as easy as making a pile of wet organic matter known as green waste and waiting for the materials to break down into humus after a period of weeks or months. Modern composting is a multi-step, closely monitored process with measured inputs of water, air, carbon, and nitrogen-rich materials. The decomposition process can be aided by shredding the plant matter, adding water, and ensuring proper aeration by regularly turning the mixture. Worms and fungi further break up the material. Compost is generally recommended as an additive to soil, supplying humus and nutrients. It provides a rich growing medium or a porous absorbent material that holds moisture and soluble minerals, providing support and nutrients in which plants can flourish, although it is rarely used alone. Compost can be tilled directly into the soil or growing medium to boost the level of organic matter and overall fertility of the soil. Compost that is ready to be used as an additive is dark brown or even black with an earthy smell. Composting can destroy pathogens, unwanted seeds, and even weeds. There are multiple composting approaches, such as grub compost, which uses the larvae of the black soldier fly to convert manure or kitchen waste into an organic compost. The resulting compost can be used for soil and fertilizer. The cockroach composting approach is another insect-mediated composting method. In this case, the adults of any number of cockroach species are used to quickly convert manure or kitchen waste into nutrient-dense compost. The bokashi approach is a Japanese composting approach that uses a mix of microorganisms to cover food waste to decrease smell. It derives from the practice of Japanese farmers centuries ago of covering food waste with rich, local soil that contained microorganisms that would ferment the waste. After a few weeks, they would bury the waste that they later use for soil. The last composting approach I will discuss is vermicompost, which is the product or process of composting through the utilization of various species of worms, usually red wigglers, white worms, or earthworms, to create a heterogeneous mixture of decomposing vegetable or food waste. Vermicomposting is widely used in North America for on-site institutional processing of food waste, such as in hospitals or shopping malls. Vermicomposting has gained popularity compared to conventional composting because it provides a way to compost organic materials more quickly and obtain products that have lower salinity levels that are therefore more beneficial to plant mediums.
Thank you, Eric. Now we will send it over to Trey Tyndall, who will talk about the pros and cons of composting.
Pros for composting are recycling, environmental benefits, and economics. With recycling, be able to reuse items from the kitchen counters that are thrown in the garbage. The environmental benefits is helpful to the environment because there is no erosion, pollution, or chemical emission. Soil is rich in organic matter, so you do not have to apply fertilizer. The economics will help create commodities, and also the soil does not have to have fertilizers, chemicals, or water added to it since the compost already allows for this. The cons of composting are labor intensity, weather, land, odors. Labor intensity, you're going to have to set aside time to go put stuff into your composter. With weather and cold environments or hot environments, you're going to have problems with composting. And with land, people in the cities and urban environments do not have enough space to compost. And with odors, you're going to have a lot of smell when it's wet, or you're going to have pathogens when you put dairy and food products into your composter.
Thank you, Trey. Now I will proceed to finish this video by talking about the costs associated with composting and some special remarks at the end of the video. The cost of composting is very interesting to talk about, as it varies between the person that's using it and what it is used for. Normally, what goes into the cost of composting depends on the ingredients, the maintenance, and the equipment. There's lots of ways to make compost, as Eric described when he was just telling the uses and the types. You can have eggshells from green leafy plants to even paper cups as your compost material. Also, the maintenance is a cost because you actually have to do the labor work in order to make sure that everything is required, and the equipment. It depends on what you buy, like compost tumblers, to barrels, to shovels, to all of those things that you need in order to make your compost successful. In this slide, you can see two different examples of compost tumblers. The one to the left is homemade with a blue barrel, a wooden frame, and a shovel, while the one to the right is one that you could typically see in stores. Now, depending on your money situation, you will either decide to make your own in order to save money, or you will spare the labor and just buy one from a store. However, it is worth noting that this could cost you from $50 to $200, depending on how efficient the tumbler you buy is. In conclusion, we have discovered that composting is a very beneficial tool with a cost that depends on the person, and even though it requires labor, it is worth it in the end, as not only are you better off economically but environmentally as well. Some remarks before this video is over. We had some technical difficulties regarding Trey's part, so if it was kind of hard to listen to, Audacity really wasn't making it any easier for us, so we apologize. Also, I'd like to make a special note that this video was made for the senior capstone course, Sustainable Agriculture, which was taught by Dr. Elavarthi at Delaware State University. Thank you for watching.